Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. In our previous video, we explored Dax aggregation functions, focusing particularly on counting aspect. Now, in this final segment, we will be examining the entirety of remaining Dax aggregation functions. Let's start with the MAXX function. Consider if you have a table containing a marks column and you need to identify the highest marks from the column. So what will you do? So there you can apply the max function to obtain the maximum marks from the column. Moving on to max A, suppose if there is a column name pass and fail containing the true and false logical value, where true represent the pass, student is pass, and false represent student is fail. And you want to identify the maximum number of students are pass or maximum number of students are fail. It will give you only one value. So there you can apply the MAXA function to identify the maximum number of pass and fail uh, because max function does not accommodate the logical values. That's why you have to use a MAXA function. Now let's meet MAXX function. So if you have two columns, one representing the product price and other representing the quantity sold, and you want to know the maximum sales order. So instead of creating an additional column by multiplying the values of these two columns and then applying the max function, you can use the MAXX function directly with the product expression of two columns to identify the maximum sales. Next, the mean A, mean X functions operate similar to the all above three max function. The primary difference is that mean function gives a minimum value and max functions give the maximum value. Next is product and product X. So the product functions calculate the multiplication of all the values within a column, while the product X functions perform multiplication across all the values in the columns after applying operations on the column values. Whereas the sum and SUMX functions function similarly to product and product X, with the key difference being that sum involves the addition of every value in a column instead of multiplication. Let's start the demonstration of this functions in Power BI. So first is the max function. So there are two ways to use the max function, one with is a column and one with is two expression. So this first one is a single column. So I have given a marks column in the max function, which is giving me the highest marks from the column, which is 100. And if you see the second, here I have used two expression. Basically, I have created a measure. If you have seen the average video, I have created this two measure here. Uh, Average marks is 62.40 and average pass expression marks is 82.40. This is the marks after the expression. So in the max function, you can give this two measures and you can compare, and it will give you the which one is the maximum here. If you see, it's giving a 82.40 after comparing these two measures. So the next is max A function. So max A function, I have given a date column in that here, and it is giving me the highest date among in this column, which is like, if you see the highest date is 5 like 2023 2 and 5. So next is the max X function. So so many times in SQL interview they have asked like what is the second highest value from the column, right? What if they ask how to do this in DAX? So here is the answer. So here I'm using MAXX function in which there are two things. First is expression and there is a column name. So they will implement the function will implement the expression first. So in the filter function, there is a condition marks less than maximum marks. So this inner max function calculate the maximum marks from this marks column, which is 100, and this condition will filter out the list of marks which is less than 100. So all the marks except 100, right? So it will eliminate the maximum marks. After filtering out the list, the outer function will apply the max function on filtered marks. So it will give you the 90, right? So this is how it works. So let's say mean function. What mean function will do, it will give you the lowest value from the column. So I'm passing marks column to this function, and if you see on the card, it is giving me 12 marks, which is lowest from this column. Similarly, like max function, we can give two expression here in the minimum function or mean function also. So if you see, I have given the same expression, just changing the function over here, and it is giving me 62.40. So if you see, after comparing this two value, it is giving me these both are scalar values. So here, if you have noticed, I have been using mean a function with a pass column. This function interprets a value of 1 when condition is true, and 0 when condition is false. It then counts this value in the column. If the count of true value is less than the count of false value, then it will return 1. And if conversely, if the value false is less than true, then it will return 0. And you can see on card, it is returning a 0 value because we have only two false value in the column. Now, mean x function operates similar to max x function, but it returns the lowest value after evaluating expression. In this case, I have passed a marks column here, an expression where I am filtering for marks greater than 56, and then finding the lowest value. You can observe the column and card values. Column and card values is 75 here. Let's look the product function. So I'm passing the ID column in the product function. Uh, so what's happening is that it's multiplying each row with it next row. So for better understanding, if you see here, it's happening like, if you see 1 into 2, 2, 2 into 3, 6, now 6 into 4, 24. So this is happening till 10th. And if you look at the card here, the displayed value, the result obtained after the product of ID column. So next, similarly with the product X function, it evaluates the given expression first, which is here, marks into 0.1, then proceed with the multiplication process afterward. So here is the result of the product X. Similarly, the sum function does the addition of all the values in the column, and SUMX function does addition of all the values after evaluating the expression. Here I'm multiplying this two column. If you see marks and ID, and after production, the addition will happen for all the values. Please review this syntax and compare it with queries we have employed in Power BI. These are the queries we have created in Power BI, and this is the resulted outputs screenshot. And I will upload this presentation file and Power BI file on the GitHub, and I'll provide the link in the description. That concludes our activities for the day. Thank you for your participation.